Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we have a mail day. Obviously it's been a couple of weeks since the last one, so it's been building up quite a bit and there's been some lovely pickups, especially tickets. So let's get into it. So let's get into some of these cards. Obviously you would have seen on Friday, did bring out a video. I will, if I remember, I'll link it up the top. But I did have the London Card Show pickups where I did pick up some lovely cards. But first of all, I picked up these two pink prisms from the latest prism. So we've got 21 of 199 and 25 of 199, obviously Gabriel Jesus and Kirintini. And then nice enough, the buyer threw in a Mojo Fabio Vieira, which is obviously one per box, and a lovely Bukayo Saka. Moving on now, and obviously you would have seen in past mail days and videos, I'm going through collecting Arsenal True Rookies. So we did have another couple arrive this week, and the first one is a Noel Moritz. Obviously this one, if it wants to focus, is from the Canada World Cup in 2015. Would have been easier just to show you the big bit going on the back. Obviously number 201. Noel Moritz obviously at the time was playing for Wolfsburg, and funny enough, as this is coming out tomorrow, is the semi-final second leg of the Champions League between Arsenal and Wolfsburg at the Emirates. Near enough a sellout, which is fantastic to see, and I think for a women's football fan and collector, it's just a brilliant thing to see the women's game having that much spotlight and attention, which is just great. And then the last true rookie of the Arsenal women's ones, what we'll have today, is a Steph Catley. This is a card that actually flew in all the way from down under. Surprisingly, only took like 2 weeks. I was expecting it to take a couple of months. I think the estimated delivery time on it was like between 22nd of, I think it was like 22nd of April, or even before. It was like the 15th of April to 20th of July. So I'm very happy this one's arrived. Another one for the true rookie collection. They did have on-card autos at this, not like actual autos what I meant being a set, like where she's actually signed it in person, but I think it was about 20 quid more, and I thought I'll just get the plain one. Then we did have a Tops delivery this week, and this has got to be my favourite Project 22 that I have. This is obviously a Gabby Martinelli, and there's no surprise that it's one of the nicest ones out there, and it's by Tyson Beck. Obviously done gold last year and it's had some of the nicest designs on cards, but I just think this is a stunning card, this one. Very appealing, and I don't want to move it too much because the mag is too big for the card, so I don't want it to rattle around because it could be a potential grader. And obviously if you did see the London Card Show pickup, you see that I've been picking up some more of this prism, and obviously the main man himself, Mesut Ozil, I've picked up 2 more. So we have here number 5 of 149 and number 80 of 109. So here we have the red mosaic and just the pure red. Whenever any of his ones come up at a decent price, I think these were $5 each, or 5 and 7 or something along them lines there. I always try and pick them up because I think it's an iconic prism set, and Mesut, one of my favourite players of all time. And talking about favourite players of all time, and a massive shout out yet again to one of my good mates in the hobby, who always sorts me out with some nice cards. 19 cards, so thank you very much for this. We will start with this one. Obviously talking about prism, and it's not too easy to see, so I take it out of the sleeve and top loader because it is red stars from Timor Mosaic, and you can see it there. You can see it a bit more there, so you see around here and around the other side. It's a stunning parallel. I have each one that they've done of this, so up until this year, which I haven't really looked into it yet, and I know the Timor ones haven't come out yet. But it is obviously numbered to 28, and it's number 23 of 28. I just think it's a really nice one. Obviously the colour match red on red, and then having the variation of having the stars in the background is so nice. And then this is my first Granit Xhaka of this year's Revolution, so obviously the first one in the new kit. Granit Xhaka, obviously we have the Sunburst, and this is 2 of 50, so a massive thank you yet again to 19 Cards for sorting me out with a lovely little Granit Xhaka bundle. Moving on now, it's something a bit different that I had arrived from Germany. So this could be a candidate in the long run. You can get PSA or Beckett to authenticate autographs. Obviously, this is Xhaka when he was at Borussia Mönchengladbach. It's like a player card, so to speak, so it's quite cool. Obviously, it has all of his stats there, what he's won, everything about him, height, weight, nationality, which I think is really cool. I should work out what year this was. I think this was one of his first years actually at Borussia Mönchengladbach, but on card auto. So I'm going to get this verified. I literally paid £2 for this, so it was a bit of a gamble. I think it was £4 posted from Germany. So I might get this authenticated, maybe get it nice slabbed up. Just be quite cool to have in the Xhaka PC. And moving on to next, before we go solely into tickets, obviously a big thank you for Golden Generation Sports Cards who sorted me out of this nice little lot. So he threw in obviously a nice little Eddie Nketiah base. I need to pick up the rest of them. And he also threw in this Lewis Hamilton card, which, massive thanks. I'm going to be giving this to one of my mates because I'm not a massive Lewis Hamilton fan, but I know he is a big fan of the F1, so he will be receiving that soon, even though he doesn't know that. So this was the main item that I picked up for him. Obviously, people know I'm big into tickets. This is Bukayo Saka's debut from the Europa League when we played against Victoria Poltava in Ukraine. This was where he made his first ever appearance for Arsenal in a competitive fixture. And I just really like it how here it's obviously got the translation in Arsenal London. It has a slight tear here, which I don't really mind, so I'll just get it authenticated anyway in the long run when it's graded. But a massive thanks to Matt for sorting me out on this one. And now we move into quite a few interesting tickets that I have been picking up. And obviously people know obviously Xhaka is my main player I PC, and I've decided to start putting together a lot of his tickets from his playing career, not just at Arsenal, but Borussia Mönchengladbach, Basel, and obviously the Swiss national team. So we're moving here. So this was a little lot that I got in Germany. So we're starting here, and these tickets I find fascinating. So for context, in like a normal size card, it's literally a normal size card, so it's like a credit card size. This one was just a ticket I picked up because there was a bit of a bulk deal. He did play in this game against Cluj, but there's no significance for that one. Moving on now, we have three more, so I'll run each one through. So this one was FC Basel versus Debrecen in the Champions League qualifiers, I believe it was. And yeah, so obviously his actual full professional debut was against Debrecen away. But this was his home debut and European home debut for FC Basel, and obviously his playing career. So I thought that was a really cool one, and these tickets are so cool to look at. Moving on here, obviously this is all, I've done research into it, so it should all be good, but if it's not, I do apologise. But this one is Basel versus FC Spartak Moscow at Basel's home ground. Obviously you can see it's a Europa League themed ticket. This was his first start in a European competition. This was obviously once they've been knocked out of the Champions League, they went into the Europa League, and I believe this was his first start because the group stage he didn't actually play, he didn't start in at all. So if my knowledge is correct, that is his first ever start in Europa League. And then this one's obviously another home game. This against, I have to apologise for the mispronunciation that's coming here, FC Ottolao Galati, and this was his first ever start in UEFA Champions League. Obviously you can see there at the top. I just think these are really cool tickets, and I will get some of these obviously graded. Basically, I don't care about getting them graded, it's more getting them protected and slabbed up. But yeah, I think this is going to be quite cool. Because it being a normal size top loader, which like slab, which would be interesting. Then moving on now, I'm going to start picking up some of his major competition tickets. Obviously, you can see this one is not in the best condition, but I got this one for about £4. This was from Euro 2016 in France. Albania versus Switzerland, obviously match 2 of the Euros. And what I find fascinating about this match was it was Granit Xhaka, and people who don't know, his brother plays for Albania. Obviously, because they have Kosovan heritage, they could pick which team they represented at the time, because Kosovo wasn't an actual recognised nation by FIFA. So it was Xhaka v Xhaka in midfield. Obviously, they played together at Basel, and I think his brother's still at Basel now as well. But it was the Granit Xhaka, Toulon Xhaka midfield battle in that one. So I think it's a really cool one to have, and like I said, I will be going for all of them. And I think the tickets are just so nice as well. Gone are the days of the boring tickets, and these are major competitions, so we've got to get some really nice ones here. And moving on to the next one here, we have Romania versus Switzerland. Obviously Xhaka did play and started in this game, match 14 of it. So yeah, like I say, I'm just piecing together a lot more. And then we're moving on to some more significant ones in Granit Xhaka's career. So this one is obviously from when he was at Borussia Mönchengladbach, and this was his Bundesliga debut against Hoffenheim. I'm trying to track down his Borussia Mönchengladbach debut, but it was away in the Polka Cup to a third division German team, so it's going to be quite hard. I think it was only a 4,500 attendance game, so I will be trying to get that. I think it was against Anheim, I think it was. So I'm going to try and track that down, but this is obviously his Bundesliga debut, so it's another one to mark off the list. Up next now, it's got to be, I think this is my favourite ticket, and people who haven't seen Kylian Mbappe's debut for France, it come away to Luxembourg as well, so obviously this one is Luxembourg for Switzerland. This is Granit Xhaka's first ever goal for the Swiss national team, and people are saying, oh, well, it don't look like anything special. Well, it's quite nice. It's the back which is the most intriguing thing. I just think that is so cool looking. It's just having like the reflective material. It's in very good condition, this ticket. So this is a definite grade. This is his first ever international goal for the Swiss national team. Moving on now to another ticket. So you can see quite a few of them are quite different looking. This is Switzerland versus Iceland from 2018. And this was in the Nations League game. And this was Granit Xhaka's first ever game as official captain. So this was the game after Stefan Lichtsteiner had retired from the national team. So they made Granit Xhaka the national team captain, which he is still to this day. So he's been there now 5 years as captain. Well, 4.5 years. He did captain Switzerland once before this, which was Andorra away. Which I need to, which I know the location of two of them tickets. I'm just waiting for him to go down to a reasonable price. So yeah, another cool one. This was his first game as official captain of the Swiss national team. And moving on to the last one, which is quite a funny one because it's an England ticket, and I was actually at this game. This is not my ticket, but I was at this game. I was in Club Wembley for this game, so sadly for me, I didn't actually have a ticket. But this is actually Granit Xhaka's international debut for the Swiss first team, and he came at Wembley, which was quite intriguing. So my love affair of this guy, which I've had for quite a few years now, I didn't realise I was ever at his first international game. So this would be another definite grader. Obviously, tickets, you do look at condition, but it's not always about condition. So as you can tell, if I just put some of them back on the screen now, it was quite a ticket-heavy mail day. But like I say, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't, please go and check out my pickups from the London Card Show. And there'll be a lot more content coming soon. And most importantly, I hope everyone out there is staying safe, doing well, and happy hobbying, and good night.